in the last video, we built Vesperis Elandril, the Elven outpost defending the main road from the Dwarven mountains of Melfaldor to the Elven kingdom of Alsari. Defended by General Volmer Ared and his Western Alsarian forces, Vesperis Elandril is a narrow passage, making it difficult to move large armies, and a logistical nightmare to attack. But 1 year before the return of Arnis, rightful king of the kingdom of Lorenzia, greatest kingdom of men, war horns sounded at Vesperis Elandril. The dwarven merchant Fithrar Thraval can be seen running towards the outpost, shouting, "Orcs are attacking! Orcs are attacking!" Further up the road, his horse and caravan had been ransacked by goblins, typically unorganized, but commonly used by orc clans as cannon fodder to weaken defenses. Fleeing from the goblin hordes, once he reached the closest Alsarian warrior, Fithrar did a 180, swinging his massive mace into the skull of the closest goblin. The elven warrior beside Fithrar striking down goblin after goblin, but their numbers were too overwhelming. The elven archers released a volley of arrows, allowing Fithrar to retreat across the bridge and join the Alsarian ranks. Fithrar standing shoulder to shoulder with the elves, awaiting the goblin onslaught, General Volmer scoffing at the idea of fighting side by side with a dwarf. The archers continued to fire their arrows, but where one goblin fell, two more took its place. Amassing at the bridge without crossing, the goblins were waiting. Then massive flaming boulders launched from catapults came crashing into the archers' overlook. The burning flames made victim every single archer, hearing the screaming of their fellow elves right above their heads, burning, dying. All those left had fear struck into their hearts. Volmer standing at the front shouting, "We are elves, Alsarian warriors, the greatest in all of the land. No mere goblin force shall bring us to our knees." At that moment, goblins began pouring across the bridge. They swarmed the elves, the clash of steel echoing through the valley. With each swing of the long elven blades, goblin bodies poured into the river below. The goblin numbers were growing thin. Then the unexpected happened. A goblin rushed one of the elves. He was stabbed, being kicked into the river, but held on and dragged the elf along with him. Enraging the remaining defending force, Fithrar, as emotionally attached to this battle as any of the others, swung his mace with more vigor and anger and hatred of these vile beasts. Rallying together, the defending forces slew the last of the goblins. In total, they cut down almost 100. After the last goblin fell, Fithrar yelled, "Do not lower your guard! This was just the first wave." It was at that moment that the glowing yellow eyes pierced through the mountain's fog. The red-skinned, demon-resembling orc clan by the name of the Khazard Gek emerged. These beasts have never been this far west. Typically, the Khazard Gek are only seen roaming east towards the lands of Lorenzia. The elves, unsure what they are even looking at, Volmer knowing this fight will be no different than the fight against the goblins. Fithrar shouting, "You fools! These are the Khazard Gek, the most vicious, ferocious, bloodthirsty of all orc clans." As he had fought at the side of Lorenzia against the Khazard Gek many decades ago. The majority of the Khazard Gek halted at the bridge. Only 4 of them began to cross. Volmer boasting, "Ha! They come with only 4? This battle will be easier than the last." The 4 orcs descended upon the elves, swinging their blades furiously. Within mere seconds, the first elven warrior met his fate. The battle raged, orcs refusing to die, cutting down the second elven warrior. Now, the defending force was outnumbered by just the 4 orcs. Vithrar slammed his mace into the orc focused on Volmer while dodging the blade of another. Volmer severing the head of the beast in front of Vithrar. The last golden armor Alsarian warrior charging one of the orcs, taking a blade to the gut while jamming his blade through its neck. One Khazard-Gek remains before Volmer and Vithrar on this side of the bridge, while the rest of the horde awaits on the other side. Volmer moved forward, exchanging blow for blow with the beast, while Vithrar slipped behind, cracking it in the back with his mace. The 4 orcs had finally fallen, but at what cost? There was no chance that one elf and one dwarf could take down an entire horde of these vile beasts. Without advancing across the bridge, the Khazard-Gek split, forming a path. They chanted, "Ergo more! Ergo more! Ergo more!" Ergo Maul, the greatest orc ever to live, the leader of the Khazard-Gek, came forth. Vithrar shocked at what he's seeing. Alive? How can this be? I was at the battle 12 years ago when the former king of Lorenzia, King Helgrim, slew Ergo Maul. Volmer stating that's even a name I recognize. So this is the orc that terrorized the East for decades. Ergo Maul slowly approached across the bridge, alone. Volmer stating, "Dwarf, you are the only of your kind that it has been an honor to raise blades with. Now, let us fight evil until we draw our last breaths." When the savage took his final step off of the bridge, the two rushed him, swinging in unison. Ergo with his dual blades easily exchanging blow for blow with both of them at the same time. Preparing to finish this fight quickly, he sent a kick into Volmer, slamming him into the ground. Turning all of his attention to Vithrar, he slashed both of his blades repeatedly into Vithrar's mace, eventually ripping it out of Vithrar's hands. And so a legend falls. Ergo pinned the dwarf against the tower, stabbing him in the gut with one blade and slitting his throat with the other. Vithrar was best friends with the dwarven king of Melfaldor, King Kuzak. He was his right hand in the Melfaldorian Revolution, where Kuzak led a revolt against his father, overthrowing him and becoming the new king of Melfaldor. Volmer, gathering his strength, looking up, seeing Vithrar's lifeless body, gave it all he had, rushing the beast one last time. Strike after strike, no matter what Volmer did, he could not break this monster's defenses. After toying for several minutes with Volmer, Ergo sent one decisive strike down, severing both of his hands. Volmer letting out a shriek in pain, Ergo picking up his chain, wrapping it around Volmer's neck, dragging him into the tower up to the second floor. Ergo tied the chain to the tower and threw Volmer from it, hanging him, killing him almost instantly. And so Vesperis Elandril has fallen. Vesperis Elandril has been conquered by the orcs. It's time to convert this outpost into an orc outpost. It'll be slightly devastating to disassemble parts of it, but hopefully we can create something that's equally as awesome. Let's see how it turns out. The first change will be to the bridge. The orcs have put a ton of stress on it and it's collapsed. The orcs have just thrown down some wood planks to walk across, patching up the bridge. Funny enough, this will actually make the build stronger, because before, to get the arch, I just attached all of the pieces with ball joints, so I couldn't even place minifigs on it without getting it to sync. The front of the bridge will also get its own wooden patchwork and spears and poles with elven skulls. Behind the bridge, the orcs are building a dam to clog the river and halt the water flow into the valleys below. For the dam, I'm making it similar to the bridge, where it looks like the orcs just threw in wood, anything they could find, just all the scrap, and clogged it up. They even took Fithrar's caravan wheels and threw them in there. I finished up the bridge, and now the hardest part will be removing the waterfall. I have no idea what I'm about to find or how easy it's gonna be to conceal what's under the waterfall. I didn't really build it in the first place with the idea of being removable. With the water removed, I can start replacing it with the rockwork that was behind the flowing water. Now, this may be pretty rough because I don't necessarily have the surface area that I would like to work with. It's definitely not turning out to be my best rock work, but I think it gets the job done. The stagnant water just sitting at the top I'm replacing with some trans brown pieces, because the orcs have been pouring who knows what in there. In front of the two arches of the bridge, there'll be a secondary dam preventing any excess leakage, but the real reason is so I don't have to stick my fingers in there and try and get all those plates out, because that's impossible. Now I need to change the roofs and make them look burnt with holes in them in a bad patch-up job. For the roof over the bridge, I need to redo basically all the paneling, as I want the roof to be split in half, only held together with some sloppily thrown down wooden planks. And around the hole will be black and dark brown, as this is the area struck by the flaming rocks, burnt significantly. I'm also patching up the arch that was destroyed by the rock as well. And I'm basically doing the exact same thing on the front panel of the first tower's roof. On the front of the tower, I put an orc banner with a couple of skulls on either side. You can't have an orc outpost without grog barrels, so we'll scatter a few of those around. I thought it'd be weird if the statues remained completely intact, so part of the statue will be laying in the river. I hung another banner on the bridge. These are just the banners from LEGO Castle Fantasy era. Balmer's been sitting here for a while, so I replaced his head with a skull. And of course, these are orcs. They kill the foliage and living things around them, so I removed all the plants. Before we take a final look at the orc-controlled Vesperis Elandril, first we must introduce Ercomol's right-hand orc, the one that he left in command of Vesperis Elandril, Yargug Uglat, loyal to Ercomol. Yargug Uglat, a ferocious warrior that has brought kings to their knees. As the Khazard Gek have grown exponentially, Yargug typically left in command of large groups of the Khazard Gek in Ercomol's absence. Now, our final look at Vesperis Elandril.
The moon weeps silver on the broken blade, where horses' shadows dance in triumphs and shade. Vesperis falls, our banners torn and frayed. No more the light of Elandril shall wait. The trees still whisper names we used to know, but blood is suspend our silver trumpets low. The night has claimed the outpost's final glow. Farewell, Vesperis, our fortress lost. Paid in blood, our kingdom's cost. Elven dreams now tread the frost, where orcish hordes still rule the crossed. Refuse to sing, their voices choked on iron wing. No more shall summer breezes bring the hymns of Vesperis in spring. I carve the names in bark so pale and thin, the last who stood where now the goblins grin. Their laughter crawls like poison through my skin, while moonlight mourns peace will never win. The river runs with memories and spears. The western wind still carries ancient fears. No dawn will rise to dry these elven tears. No horn shall wake the sleep of countless years. Farewell, Vesperis, our fortress lost. Paid in blood, our kingdom's cost. Elven dreams now tread the frost, where orcish hordes still rule the crossed. Farewell, Vesperis, in shadows cast, where twilight fades to die at last. Our songs remain, though all has passed. Beneath the orcish banner's mast at last.
Vesperis Elandril is no longer under Elven control. Where would you like to see my future mocks take us in this fantasy world that I'm creating? Let me know in the comments.
Beneath the silver moon they stand, elven blades gleaming hand, whispers right the midnight breeze through the shadows of the trees.